Hi guys, I hope you're safe at home right now. It's been a challenging past few months for all of us, but if there's one thing we've learned, it's that science is the most important underlying factor in shaping our daily lives. Science can explain the problems we're facing and science can discover the solution. That is why accurate science information is just as critical. So double check your sources, investigate, and adopt a scientific mindset that sticks to the facts. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Neil, welcoming you to the 4th Indie-Siyensya Awards, brought to you by the Department of Science and Technology, Science Education Institute. This is the year's grandest gathering of storytellers with a passion for science more than an expression of one's audiovisual creativity. This is an expression of the Filipinos' commitment to the community and love for the country, as these stories portray icons and issues that can lead to meaningful action. This is the 4th Indie-Siyensya Filmmaking Competition. 4 years of casting the spotlight on fundamental ideas that impact daily life. Most importantly, of showcasing communities beyond the naked eye. And today, we will bring the competition to a grand conclusion as we recognize the year's best across 2 categories. 1, the youth category, and 2, the open category for professionals. Together, let us honor their stories. Are you all excited for the results? Before we proceed to our program, let's bow our heads for a moment of silence. Father God, thank you for your presence during the hard and mean days, for then we have you to lean upon. Thank you for your presence during the bright and sunny days, for then we can share that which we have with those who have less. And thank you for your presence during the holy days, for then we are able to celebrate you and our families and our friends. For those who have no voice, we ask you to speak. For those who feel unworthy, we ask you to pour your love out in waterfalls of tenderness. For those who live in pain, we ask you to bathe them in the river of your healing. For those who are lonely, we ask you to keep them company. For those who are depressed, we ask you to shower the light of hope. Dear Creator, you, the borderless sea of substance, we ask you to give all the world that which we need most. Peace. Amen. Ladies and gentlemen, the Philippine National Anthem. We know it has been a long journey for all of you from the moment the competition theme of Communities Beyond the Naked Eye was announced, to the training you received, to script development, to principal photography and post-production. Sacrifices were made and lessons were learned. And for many, you experienced how to communicate complex scientific concepts into a medium that the common folk can appreciate and understand. It is not easy, but it is worth it. For you are not only showing the world that you can, but you are touching the lives of others and driving them to action. So being part of such an endeavor, why don't you give yourselves a round of applause? This competition is brought to you by DOST-SEI, the country's foremost agency tasked with developing a critical pool of human resources, fully engaged in the fields of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And through the years, SEI has made significant strides in inspiring the youth to pursue careers in these fields, offering exciting glimpses of the wonderful world of science. To formally welcome us all, let us hear this message from the Director of DOST-SEI. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dr. Josette T. Bio.
A pleasant day to all of you. I hope you are all safe and healthy. When we opened the 4th Indie-Siyensya filmmaking competition in October last year in Iloilo, the thought of doing the awarding via this virtual mode absolutely never came across our mind. I believe all of us had plans that suddenly turned upside down and we can't do anything about it. Such as the case in these times, it is as challenging to stay safe as it is to dream again and act upon them. But as Filipinos and as resilient human beings, we know we can be versatile and that we can sustain our ideals using other means. And so, we welcome you to the conclusion of the 4th Indie-Siyensya filmmaking competition. At the start of this competition, we have received a lot of quality film concepts and film entries. Looking back at our first Indie-Siyensya, I can definitely say we have come a long way. There are definitely more science fiction movies than those based on real science. However, through this competition, we are now seeing more people getting interested in science film making. While we certainly wish to host a grand event for our filmmakers and have an actual audience in a movie house atmosphere, we hope that we can bring justice to your masterpieces through this ceremony. We thank all the filmmakers who put forth the effort to develop their films and tell stories relevant to their community. We express our gratitude to each person involved in every science film submitted to the competition, and we consider you all as winners in your own right. We believe that the future of science lies in the creative and technology-driven generation of the present. Hence, it is important that we give you this opportunity to create, visualize, and tell your stories. I also thank our Board of Judges, Dr. Amy Lynn Dupo of UP Los Baños, Professor Seymour Sanchez of the College of St. Benilde, and FEU Professor Gary J. Montemayor of UP Los Baños, Dr. Patrick Campos of UP Diliman, and our very own Dr. Ruby Cristobal, Chief Science Research Specialist of the S&T Manpower Education Research and Promotion Division of the Science Education Institute, for sharing their expertise and evaluating the entries we received. We are confident in the films that were selected as the best among the entries, as they were critiqued by renowned film experts, science communicators, and scientists. Making films can be quite difficult, but evaluating films can be equally demanding. So, we congratulate everyone for making the 4th Indie-Siyensya a success. We hope that this project will continue to grow and hone the creativity of scientists and students alike, and entice our filmmakers to produce science films as a genre that is worth devoting their creativity to, thereby providing the avenue for co-creating a culture of science. Once again, thank you very much, and may God bless us all.
Thank you very much, Dr. Josette Bio. Now, let us take a look at the heart of the 4th Indie-Siyensya Filmmaking Competition, at the motivations and realizations, at the stories of our nominees, at the imagination and pursuit of transformation at communities viewed through the lens beyond the naked eye.
All around us, in the dualities of life, its abundance and scarcity, its vibrance and dreary, lie the workings of science, its laws, its predispositions, its solutions. From the smallest of matter to the grandest gatherings in the universe, they hold the greatest of stories. And it is our responsibility to mankind to tell these stories. The 4th Indie-Siyensya Filmmaking Competition. Science that is viewed and interpreted by common Filipinos, generously shared to broaden the minds of our countrymen. Stories of science that truly touch the Filipino. From the DOST Science Education Institute, continuously inspiring the nation to pursue the path of science. Our grandest gathering of stories to spark learning, realization, and solution among communities for the greatness of the nation. Countless participants, trained, provoked, and inspired to become storytellers. Come hundreds of entries in the youth and open categories that explore the theme of communities beyond the naked eye. Rigorously screened to draw out the most brilliant, the most empowering. This is citizen science at its best. Science that is seen through the eyes of the common Filipino and told through stories that showcase the bounty and beauty that surrounds us and of the people devoted to nurturing it. Stories that dwell on ideas that matter and the power of the human spirit to rise above them all. Witness them vie for the highest distinction and let their stories transform every Filipino for the better. The 4th Indie-Siyensya Awards Night.
For bravely and creatively showcasing communities beyond the naked eye, you are all winners in your own right. Soon, we will find out which entries will be honored as the best films of the 4th Indie-Siyensya Filmmaking Competition, with hundreds of great entries submitted, though recognizing true gems has proven to be a Herculean task. Thankfully, we were supported by distinguished scientific minds and film critics who graciously lent their time and expertise to thoroughly screen our entries and help us recognize the best of the best. Now, we would like to introduce to you our Board of Judges. Our first judge is a professor and expert in the field of science communication. Let's give a round of applause to the chair of the Department of Science Communication at the UP Los Baños College of Development Communication, Professor Gary J. Montemayor. Our next judge is an entomologist and award-winning professor at the UP Los Baños Institute of Biological Sciences. Let's give a round of applause to the curator of arachnids and arthropods at the UPLB Museum of Natural History, Dr. Amy Lynn Dupo. Our next judge is a writer, filmmaker, and professor of communication at the De La Salle College of St. Benilde and the Far Eastern University. Let's give a round of applause to Film Development Council of the Philippines Film Ambassador, Professor Seymour Barros Sanchez. Our next judge is an author, film scholar, and member of the National Commission for Culture and the Arts. Let's give a round of applause to the director of the UP Film Institute, Professor Patrick Campos. And for the final member of our Board of Judges, a scientist turned science communication champion and chief science research specialist of the Department of Science and Technology, Science Education Institute, Dr. Ruby Cristobal. Thank you very much to our Board of Judges for lending their expertise to this momentous endeavor. Now, let us recognize the year's best science-driven stories and their talented storytellers. Out of over 200 entries, only a handful have emerged as the winners of the 4th Indie-Siyensya filmmaking competition. Our first recognition is for the Viewer's Choice Award. This is for the entry that garnered the most votes among the audiences who attended our film showing. Our winners will be sent a certificate and 20,000 pesos prize money. And the film that captured the hearts of its audiences with a total of 24.3% vote is none other than Pauwikan by Film and Media Arts International Academy. Now, let's take a look at some of the clips of our Viewer's Choice Award winner.
San Juan, La Union, ang tinaguriang surfing capital of the North.
There are sea turtles who nest and who live here with us.
It's a cross season, as we call it. It's 2009 and 2010. That's when my daughter found the nest. Then we started asking, because we never knew there were sea turtles nesting in San Juan, or in La Union for that matter. We never knew.
Congratulations to our Viewer's Choice Award winner, Pauwikan by Film and Media Arts International Academy. And now, for the 4th Indie-Siyensya Best Films in the Open category and Youth category. Once again, the Open category consists of entries by professionals, scientists, researchers, engineers, and the like in collaboration with filmmakers. With the theme of Communities Beyond the Naked Eye, our entries in the Open category were judged according to the following criteria: 35% scientific content, 35% execution of idea, and 30% film technique. The Youth category, on the other hand, consists of entries by high school and tertiary students, as well as out-of-school youth ages 13 to 20, and the entries were judged according to the following criteria: 40% scientific content, 30% execution of idea, and 30% film technique. Let us begin with our third best films for Open and Youth categories. Here are our winners. In the Open category, to receive a trophy and 30,000 pesos, our third best film is, with an average score of 79.4%, The Man Who Talks to Fishes by Professor Edward Lawrence Opeña of Opeña Cinematics, Cebu Normal University. Now, let's take a look at some clips from our third best film in the Open category.
ang Hilutungan Marinsang Tore, nahimutang ni siya sa barangay Hilutungan. Unya na ni siya gidakon nga 1489 hectares.
Congratulations to our third best film in the open category, The Man Who Talks to Fishes by Professor Edward Lawrence Opeña of Opeña Cinematics, Cebu Normal University. And now for our third best film in the youth category. To also receive a trophy and 30,000 pesos, our third best film is, with an average score of 79.6%, Beyond Escherichia coli by Caleb Jasper Lumingkit, Juliana Milan-Bilen, Matt Jabez Alvarez, John Paul Sulia, and Andre Dinglaasan from Tagaytay City Science High School. Now, let's take a look at some of the clips from our third best film in the youth category.
From a single cell transformed to a complex network of cells, the coming of a new being has now begun. And with numerous life forms, there are communities that lie over and above. Let's dive into the world of science and beyond. In this episode of Beyond, join me as I unfold yet another story behind the most common bacteria. Escherichia coli is one of the
Congratulations to our third best film in the youth category, Beyond Escherichia coli by Caleb Jasper Lumingkit, Juliana Milan-Bilen, Matt Jabez Alvarez, John Paul Sulia, and Andre Dinglaasan from Tagaytay City Science High School. Now, let us honor our second best films, and here are our winners. In the open category to receive a trophy and 50,000 pesos, our second best film is, with an average score of 82%, Pauwikan by Jerry Van Marie Palabay of Film and Media Arts International Academy, Cebu City. Now, let's take a look at some of the clips from our second best film in the open category.
San Juan, La Union, ang tinaguriang surfing capital of the North.
There are sea turtles who nest and who live here with us.
It's a cross season, as we call it. It's 2009 and 2010. That's when my daughter found the nest. Then we started asking, because we never knew there were sea turtles nesting in San Juan, or in La Union for that matter. We never knew.
Congratulations to our second best film in the open category, Pauwikan by Jerry Van Marie Palabay of Film and Media Arts International Academy, Cebu City. And now for the second best film in the youth category. To also receive a trophy and 50,000 pesos, our second best film is, with an average score of 83.6%, Sisto by Maria Diana Balansag of Bukidnon National School of Home Industries, Maramag, Bukidnon. Now, let's take a look at some of the clips from our second best film in the youth category.
Tingnan nila, ang makatuman ang kambal sa sisto, mawala mo itong main nga sisto. Pero hindi ko na mawala sa lawas.
Schistosomiasis, or otherwise known as bilharziasis, this is a fluke. This is a parasite. This is basically part of what they call as the blood fluke.
Congratulations to our second best film in the youth category, Sisto by Maria Diana Balansag of Bukidnon National School of Home Industries, Maramag, Bukidnon. And now, for the biggest awards in the 4th Indie-Siyensya filmmaking competition, our best films in each category. As a treat to our viewers, we are going to show the full-length version of our top winning films. And here they are. In the open category, to receive a trophy and 100,000 pesos, the honor of being named the 4th Indie-Siyensya filmmaking competition best film goes to, with an average score of 82.6%. The winner is Into the Minuscule World of Ants by Heinrich Domingo from Quezon, Isabela. Now, let's take a look at our best film in the open category.
So I was born and raised in Toronto, Canada, and my parents let me keep all sorts of creatures, all kinds of pets, and of course different insects and ants. And I find ants are one of the most unique organisms, really, and their degree of sophistication and systems really are really mind-blowing. So I started the channel to show others that just how awesome ants are and how cool ant keeping is. And then eventually I moved to Manila, Philippines in 2011, and it was here where I discovered there are ants everywhere. So most of the channel's content from then on was basically ants that I had collected from here in the Philippines. I've been keeping ants now for around, I would say 15 years, like seriously keeping ants. And here in the Philippines, I've been here now for 9 years, and I'm still intrigued, and I haven't kept all the species that there are to keep, because there are thousands of species here in the Philippines of ants, and I just have several of them here. But I look forward to collecting more and discovering more and more just how awesome the ant biodiversity is here in the Philippines. Ant keeping is sort of an educational hobby. The hobby basically is keeping ant colonies in a container and keeping them as pets, and then providing the colony everything that they need in terms of resources. So they would need food, space, water, temperature requirements, humidity requirements. It's essentially like raising a city of like small people. And ants live in societies of millions, big metropolises, so they're kind of like humans in a lot of ways. So keeping ant colonies is very much like keeping a city of humans. People who think of biology, they think of like the big stuff, the elephants, the dolphins, the birds, you know, the lions out in Africa. But there's also a lot of life in the micro world, which I've discovered more and more filming for the Ants Canada channel, because the more sophisticated equipment that I would buy, and the closer we could look at the life contained in the glass, the more we realize just how teeming with life these soil environments are. I think one of the biggest challenges that ant keepers face is the world not seeing ants as pests. Because right now, most of the world sees ants as pests, especially dito sa Pilipinas. I mean, ants are in your house. Like, why would you want to keep them in setups because they live with us. They're pests. People want them out. We have tons of products that are designed to kill ants. One of my missions of the Ants Canada channel is to show the world that there's more to ants, that there are actually ant species that are not pests, that don't live in homes, that go on to live lives. They live their best lives going out, raising colonies of their own, and there's they have very intricate systems. They deal with the same problems humans do. And I think once people get a peek into their private lives and get to appreciate, like, wow, ants are very cool. I think once people see that, ant keeping will explode. I believe the ant keeping community is growing now in the Philippines. I know many ant keepers here in the Philippines, and there are several groups that have established on social media, on Facebook. There are ant keeping groups that have meetups, and they even bring their ant colonies to exotic conventions and that sort of thing. So it's really, really neat.
Group kami ng mga ant enthusiasts na we don't want to get involved sa illegal pet trade. And then we band together, organize ourselves, and then ito na kami na i-invite na kami ngayon sa isa sa malaking convention, which is itong International Farmer Summit.
I think it's an exciting time for the world of myrmecology, and especially Filipinos, because us Filipinos, we're on social media so much. So what I would love to see is, first of all, the ant keeping hobby expand. It would be great if people understood symbiosis, for example, and why it's important, and how ants have symbioses with different organisms, including people. Ants help break down our waste. They help break down our dead bodies. You know what I mean? So we're very interconnected. It would be great if bioliteracy would elevate in the masses. That would be great to see as a result of ant keeping and all these eyes watching ants. And also, second of all, I would love for people who do keep ants to share their findings online. In this age of social media, we've got this awesome info sharing tool that is free and accessible to pretty much everybody. So upload your videos, post all your findings in forums, start YouTube channels on your ant colonies. It would be great to see. And that really is what I would love for the ant keeping community to contribute in terms of science and mainstream science.
Congratulations to the 4th Indie-Siyensya Filmmaking Competition Best Film in the Open category, Into the Minuscule World of Ants by Heinrich Domingo from Quezon, Isabela. Finally, our highest award for the youth category to receive a trophy and 100,000 pesos. The honor of being named the 4th Indie-Siyensya Filmmaking Competition Best Film goes to, with an average score of 84.4%, Sansala by Saya Angela Somblingo of Focus Cavite, Cavite National High School, Senior High School. Now, let's take a look at our best film in the youth category.
microplastic. Ano ba ibig sabihin nun eh?
Plastic.
Microplastics po.
May ano?
Microplastics.
Michael? Micro?
Microplastic.
Hindi ko masyadong yung mga ganung bagay. Di ba? Hindi mo na... Pero, kung di ka kaganda, okay para sa akin. Di ba?
Ayon sa datos ng United Nations Environment Program noong 2015, ang Pilipinas ang top contributor ng plastic sa buong mundo. Lubos itong ikinababahala ng marami dahil hindi nabiro ang level ng polusyon sa bansa. Ngunit bukod sa karaniwang plastic na nakakasalumuhan natin sa pang-araw-araw, may isa pang uri nito na nagdudulot ng nakababahalang pinsala, ang microplastics.
Yung microplastic ngayon ay hindi alam ng mga tao. So most of the people hindi pa nila alam to. These are very small plastics which are actually fragments of larger plastics. So meron tayong dalawang uri ng microplastics. Yung primary nga, yun yung sinadya talagang gawin na microplastics para ibenta nila sa ibang corporations. Yung secondary microplastics, yun talaga yung fragments na hindi alam ng mga tao na nakaka-apekto sa community. By the way, hindi siya na biodegrade, no? Photodegradable yung mga plastics natin. So from large plastics, it will become microplastics, which is actually less than 5 mm, 5 millimeter. Minsan kinakain na ito ng mga fishes, ng mga animals. And even as hindi natin minsan napapansin, baka tayo ay nakakain na rin ng mga pagkain na mayroong microplastics. So, pag yung plastic pinreduce, walang ibang pupuntahan yun kundi sa environment. Wala siyang ibang pupuntahan.
Dahil sa liit ng microplastics, maaari itong kumapit o humalo sa anumang bagay o material, partikular sa tubig at hangin. At ang katotohanan ang Pilipinas bilang isang archipelago ay naliligiran ng anyong tubig ay isang patunay kung gaano ito kapanganib para sa mga may buhay.
Isa sa mga pinakamaliit na bayan sa Pilipinas ay ang Cavite City. Sa anyo ng isang tangway, ang hugis nitong tila pangalawit ay sumisimbolo rin sa buong bayan. Tubig at dagat. Dito umiikot ang pang-araw-araw na pamumuhay ng bawat Caviteño.
Subalit, ang tubig na buhay ng marami ay ligtas nga ba sa microplastics? Kasama mga veteranong mangingisdang sina Mang Alfredo Gantes at Mang Rolly Ferneste, saktong alas 8 ng umaga ay sumakay kami ng bangka at tinungang may kalalimang bahagi ng dagat.
Nang matansya naming 50 meters na kami mula sa dalampasigan, napagpasyahan naming ipatigil ang bangka at sa bahaging ito ng dagat kumuha ng water samples.
Nang araw ding iyon, nagtungo kami sa Science Laboratory ng Cavite National High School upang suriin ang nakuha naming water samples.
Gumamit kami ng microscope para masuri ang nakuha naming water sample. Makikita sa microscope ang tila hibla ng mga sinulid na iniinala naming microplastics.
Kinonsulta namin kay Miss Julian Rodriguez, isang biologist, ang nakuhang microscope images.
So mostly, ang size niya ay 5 millimeters. In terms naman ng shapes and colors, depende yun sa sources ng microplastics. Sources ng microplastics, different materials na yari sa plastic. Pwede rin namang yari sa fiber like clothes or threads. Pwede rin siyang mga upos ng sigarilyo. So yung nakita nyo, pwede nyo ipa-confirm sa DOST or sa iba't ibang mga laboratories kung ito ba ay considered as microplastic.
Ang natitirang water samples ay pinadala sa isang microplastic testing center para sa mas malalim na pagsusuri. Ang microplastic, bagaman lubhang maliit, ay may malaking epekto naman sa mga lamang dagat. Lumabas sa pag-aaral ang malaking banta ng microplastic sa mga whale sharks. Hindi sinasadyang nai-ingest ng ocean giant na ito ang microplastics na nakahalo sa tubig. Isa pa sa nakakaranas ng nakababahalang epekto ng microplastics ay ang mga tahong.
Ako po si Richard Rapsing. Magsimula doon sa umpisa, magtahong. Ako po ay 15 years na nagtatahong dito sa Cavite City at yun lang ang kinabubuhay ng aking pamilya dito sa pagtatahong. Sa ngayon, mahal ang tahong dahil walang tahong eh. Naabot ng 110, isang galon. Kaya mahina ang laki ng tahong kasi ang tubig malabong malabo.
Dahil sa microplastics, nawawalan ng kakayahan ng tahong na kumapit sa bato at kawayan, dahilan kung bakit bigo sila magparami. Kasama ang buong Focus Cavite, nagsagawa kami ng isang cleanup drive sa mga dagat ng Dalahican, Cavite City. Ang patuloy na paglilinis ng dalampasigan ay ang nakikita naming paraan upang unti-unting masolusyonan ang polusyon sa tubig.
Ang mga impormasyon na aming nakuha mula sa masusing pag-aaral at payo ng eksperto ay aming nilahad sa mga residente ng Dalahican.
Namigay kami ng activated carbon water purifier para mas matutukan ang kaligtasan ng tubig na kinokonsumo nila.
Sa kasalukuyan, isa ang microplastic pollution sa mga suliranin na hindi ganoong nabibigyan ng pansin. Maraming mamamayan ang direktang naapektuhan, ngunit limitado ang kanilang kaalaman kaugnay nito. Maituturing ang microplastics na isang komunidad ng mga walang buhay na may detrimental na epekto sa mga may buhay.
Ang microplastic pollution ay isang suliraning na ipasa pa mula sa nakalipas na henerasyon at nagsisilbing hamon ng kasalukuyan at ng hinaharap. Kung pababayaan at hindi aaksyonan, ang maliliit na materyal na ito ay magsasanhi ng malaking pinsala sa kalusugan, kapaligiran at ekonomiya. Ako si Jamin Arzel Pasco at ito ang Sansala.
Congratulations to the 4th Indie-Siyensya Filmmaking Competition Best Film in the Youth category. Sansala by Saya Angela Somblingo of Focus Cavite, Cavite National High School, Senior High School. Congratulations to all our nominees and winners for doing a superb job of capturing these exciting science stories of communities beyond the naked eye. As the 4th Indie-Siyensya Filmmaking Competition draws to a close, let it begin our commitment to conveying the wonderful message of science for the development of Filipinos, and to send us off with a few inspiring words, here is a special message from a distinguished member of the Board of Judges. She is a renowned entomologist, specifically an arachnologist. In fact, she is one of only 2 spider experts in the Philippines. She is a professor at the Institute of Biological Sciences, University of the Philippines, Los Baños, and the curator of the university's Museum of Natural History. She was recognized by the National Academy of Science and Technology as one of 2015's outstanding young scientists. And earlier this year, she joined 13 others from Southeast Asia to be hailed as 2020's outstanding ASEAN science diplomats. Truly, she is a remarkable scientist and an integral part of Indie-Siyensya's Board of Judges. Ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome Dr. Amy Lynn Barion Dupo.
We are gathered today to acknowledge creativity in the most unusual of circumstances. It is rather unfortunate that we cannot meet face-to-face, greet each other hello, or even shake each other's hands as we do in most social engagements. Now, we reach out to you in a different medium, but communicate we do. And for that, we are grateful. Grateful we are for the many creative minds like you who took up the challenge of communicating, documenting, and filming communities beyond the naked eye. Indeed, your subjects were quite small, and your task was by no means huge. Now, more than ever, we see the value of documenting science through the eyes of the public. Each and every one of you has done quite impressively that I, along with the Board of Judges, Professor Seymour Sanchez, Gary Montemayor, and Patrick Campos, had such a difficult time judging your entries. Your entries were all so unique, each worthy of praise and recognition. We are excited to see next year's crop of submissions. So on behalf of the Board of Judges of the Indie-Siyensya Filmmaking Competition, the DOST Science Education Institute, I would like to formally thank you for passionately crafting your entries this year. We hope you continue with us scientists in bridging science and art. After all, science is an artful engagement. May you have a pleasant day ahead.
Wow, Dr. Amy, thank you very much. And on behalf of DOST SEI, we'd like to thank you for being a part of this fourth run of Indie-Siyensya. Thank you very much. Now, let us all give our participants, our winners, and our judges a big round of applause. Thank you everyone for making the fourth Indie-Siyensya Filmmaking Competition a success. Let us continue to discover and depict stories of science that will inspire our countrymen, and let these stories show them the wonders of a career in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, so that together we can work towards resilient and prosperous communities beyond the naked eye. My name is Neil, and once again, I would like to thank everyone for watching and have a great evening. And always remember, for now, stay safe and always stay at home.